Hello, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Ooh. How are you guys doing today? This afternoon. I wanted to come and give my review on 911 Lonestar Season 3, Episode 2, Thin Ice. So guys, remember last week the blizzard blew in and all these people were lost and it was just terrible. So remember the old couple were out looking for the turtles, and so when he picked up the turtle, when the older gentleman picked up the turtle, he saw the kid. Okay, so they go back and call 911, and the crew, the crew that's available come to rescue the kid. Well, that was TK. And TK is Owen Strand's son. And Tommy is Gina Torres. So remember last week I was like, is that TK? Yeah. So I had to get it right. So TK, they tie up some bed sheets and he, scoots down or crawls down to the hole, and he started busting the hole open with a pickaxe, and he saw the kid. So he bust the ice good enough to get the kid, and then the portion of ice that he was actually laying on caved in. So now they both in the water, right? And they going under, and so Nancy and Tommy starts pulling, the sheets, and I think the older couple were trying to help them too. And so they were pulling, and then, finally pulled them out. Okay, so they started working on the kid because he had no pulse, no signs of life. So they took him and worked on him. And the truck that had slid down, like they are working in frigid conditions. I mean, very frigid conditions. And so they, had to do, make do with what they had or whatever. And so they get the kid, and they trying to meet up with another ambulance so they can rush the kid on to the hospital. They trying to get some help. So, but they doing all that they can, to, bring him back. Okay. Well, TK, he actually suffered some, damages, from the cold water, but we didn't find that out till later. So, okay, so Strand helped, he's helping this guy, this Hispanic guy, and so him and the lady, his neighbor, are helping mend him, and he's like, we have to get him to a hospital. He needs to get medical help. So Strand calls on the on his phone, not on his phone, but I think more like his walkie-talkie, CB or whatever, and he's giving his he's telling who he is by his number, and that he need help, he need assistance. And so basically everybody's out trying to help. Okay, Paul is stuck in the bottom of the building with the young girl, and all of a sudden water started coming through, dropping through the ceiling. They almost, they freezing, and she's panicking, and he almost panicking, and I mean it was just gruesome, it was, in this episode, guys, like all of the players was basically fighting for their life. So Nancy was trying to help as much as they could. What's his name? Judd, he was out trying to help. He was out on the call, and then he stopped to go get Grace some tea and some snacks, and I think Grace is about to bust. She's about to have that baby. And so Strand helps the guy, and then the guy up soon as he had him in a position to where he was okay or stable, they got up and leave, So now Strand is trying to go and find the guy because he know he ain't gonna be able to make it out in this weather. And he tells the neighbor, he was like, hey, if I'm not back by 6, make sure you feed Buttercup. So I don't care how dangerous the weather is. People who love their pets, remember, hey, he or she needs to be fed. So he goes out trying to find the man. So Marjan come too, and she's stuck in the snow, stuck in the because her car had wrecked out. And so Paul and the young girl is, basically just fighting tooth and nail to stay alive because it's freezing in the place. They finally got the water turned off, and basically it's like, do not go to sleep, keep your brain moving, keep active, whatever. And so Jill was like, please just hurry up. And Paul, he was holding on as long as he could, and he started getting faint. And the young girl, they told her, they was like, hey, do what you can, save him, because she said he's not responding because he was drifting off. He was so tired and plus freezing to death. And, he had told her, he was like, hey, tell me some, he was saying all this different stuff to her to keep her up and moving and alert. And so she did him the same way. And she, started asking him questions, and she had to holler at him because he was fading and fading. Finally, help came and they got him out. But Strand went off to go find the guy, and the guy. Okay, so he goes to this. He see this. He goes into this barn, and he sees these people, and he was he's looking at them and observing, and of course they're not friendly because they are illegals, and so they're not friendly because they don't know who he is, what he want. And so he was talking to one of the ladies there, and he told her, he was like, you guys cannot stay here. Some of you are sick. This, as cold as it is, you will freeze to death. You need to go somewhere else. And here pops the man who he saved, and they actually was running from him. So he put it together. He was like, oh, you guys are running from him, and he done saved him. So then TK, okay, once they got the little boy stabilized, TK had went because he started suffering from what is it called? Freezer burn, but it was a medical term for it. And he started suffering from it. It's like the side effects. And he took his clothes out because they said, he was feeling hot, and that's just one of the side effects. You're feeling hot. And so they found him. His clothes were strewn across the ground. They went and found him, and he was crashing. Finally, he fell out. So they get him to the hospital. They actually, were able to get him to the hospital. And it's not looking good for TK. So Nancy called Carlos to come, and and he was like, what are you doing? Why did you call me? And so the little boy's mom, who they saved, she came and she thanked them for saving her son. And she was like, I'm going to pray for your friend. And that's when he realized how bad it was. He was like, well, how bad is it? And she said, it's not good at all. And so Tommy came out the room, and she said, we have to get in touch with his father. It's very serious. And so Strand, he have no idea that his son is in critical condition, because now he's out and about. All of this happened because Buttercup ran. He ran after Buttercup. He helped the man who couldn't speak English. He took him back to his place, tried to get him, some medical attention, just to discover that this man actually was the man that these people were running from. And it's just horrible. The whole situation is horrible. And again, I live in Texas, so we actually did have this winter blast. I mean, on my end, it wasn't as bad as what it is on, from the show, but I'm sure, because we had deaths and stuff too. So I'm sure it did happen. It may have happened just like that elsewhere, but in my little part of Texas, well, my little part of Dallas, it did not happen like that. But so TK is in bad condition. They need to get in touch with Strand. Strand is at the place with these immigrants, and I think he's happy. He's gonna help next week. He's gonna help them escape or do something, because the lady was asking, why are you helping us? And so he said, because you all helped me, or whatever. So TK is in dire need of, he's doing bad. Strand have no idea. Grace was fine. Next week she's supposed to go in labor in the middle of the snowstorm. So guys, that's gonna be terrible. Everybody was doing okay except TK, and Strand needs to know that his son is in the condition that he's in. I don't think nothing else fantastic happened. No, nothing else fantastic. That was, and I did say Judd and the crew actually rescued Paul and the girl. And when they found out that Paul was missing and needed help, Mattel, his captain was like, "Come on, Mattel." He was like, "No, I'm a part of the 126. I'm going to help rescue Paul." And he was like, "You're brave, stupid but brave," or something like that. And he went to help rescue Paul. The 126 is a family. They broken up right now, but they are a family. So we shall see what happens next week. It was pretty good, It was pretty good this week, but we shall see next week when Grace actually goes in labor. This has been a review for 911 Lonestar Season 3, Episode 2, Thin Ice. Sean's Journey out.